All right, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? It's a beautiful Monday morning. Fresh week, a short week. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Go ahead and get right to the money. All right, so for the economic calendar, today we don't have anything significant scheduled. Tomorrow we just have the CB consumer confidence. And Wednesday, we have ADP non-farm employment change, the pending home sales, and then the crude oil inventories. Thursday, we have the initial jobless claims with the ISM manufacturing PMI. And then Friday, of course, is the holiday. The stock market is scheduled to be closed. I was supposed to look at the future schedule for Friday. So I have to go back and look at that. I thought I downloaded it. But I'm sure like if it is open, it'll be like a half day or something. But it'll probably be not much. If it is open and for futures, not much should be going on that day in terms of trading. All right, so let's go ahead and check out that power range. We can look at the schedule later. All right, so for today's NQ session, we have a high of 12. For the power range, we have a high of 12,986.25 with a low of 12,929. When I posted this, we were trading neutral. We just really retraced back to resistance pretty much, down negative 0.27% with a volume of 118K, ATR of 320.05. Go ahead and check that out. On the daily, we still kind of hanging around support. Having the last couple of days of last week were not that exciting. We were just chopping around a lot, and we're still just kind of hanging around here. Haven't really made a move in either direction yet, just from a bigger perspective. Go ahead and check out our overnight action. You see we had a little bit of a sell-off at the beginning of the session. Found a pivot around 115 until we retraced all of that pretty much back to almost made it back to the open. And now we're just kind of bouncing around in the pre-market. Right now, where most of the action is happening below the power range. All right, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the market. Looking at what is this? The wrong screen is what that is. All right. So for ES, pretty much you can always expect ES and NQ to pretty much be trading similar to each other. Only exception with ES, it's not as volatile, of course, and we didn't quite make it back to the high of the session, which is pretty much the power range high. We just found some resistance, some sellers that pushed the market back down at the PR low between -1 and -2. Looking at the daily, we kind of hitting our head against resistance. Like last week, we had made an attempt to make an all-time high. That didn't quite work out, but anything can happen. But this is a nice strong candle from Friday. So we'll see. It should be interesting how the day plays out. Let's get a quick glance at the Russell. Not expecting anything different. Look at YM. Overall, everything in terms of the indices are looking bullish. Go ahead and check out gold. A little bit of the nice little V pattern right here overnight, but other than that, we've pretty much been just selling off, very choppy right here in the pre-market. Found some decent support at the PR -3, or that's -4. But just chopping around, no real direction. You see, we're kind of on the daily, we're kind of just hanging out. Haven't really made much of a move at all from last week. Actually, the past couple of weeks. Go ahead and look at CL, which is also from a daily perspective. Just hanging out in a range with a little bit more volatility, as we can expect from CL. I think Friday, not much happened with CL. It just had a tight little range that it was trading in between. Pretty much the same kind of price action that we saw in NQ. But we did find new highs in the pre-market. And testing the supports again. We just, across the board so far, we're just trading in a range. Go ahead and look at the euro currencies. One thing I need to get more used to is looking at the delta more often. So that's just going to take practice and consistency. Pretty much the same price action. Tested the power range high in the euro session. Kind of just, we're still just hanging around, choppy. And for E6, nice little range between the power range high and was it -4. So far in today's future session across the board, we are range bound. So we'll see what kind of energy, the volume, we have a lot of volume on the board, but we'll see what kind of energy comes into the market at the open. Go ahead and get this pre-market screenshot. Go over my checklist one last time. Make sure I check off my reminders. Always got to be seeing the big picture. And we are ready to go. I just shuffled the playlist this morning. Friday I got a little out of control. I think I got a little impatient, if I remember correctly, and ended up being too aggressive for a play. Almost ended bad for me, but I got lucky with the price action. I think the market makers are on their job. I was able to benefit from them, just doing their business. I gotta make sure I'm staying disciplined to the strategy. Make sure I'm being aware of my focus, where my awareness is keep track of where my awareness is as I'm trading. Looks like we're back at that key level of 958 for NQ. For MNQ. We're starting to see some momentum come in. More like some volatility, some extra volatility. Still chopping around. My strategy says to take shorts. If I don't get any good setup, then I'm just gonna be patient and wait for something good to come. You gotta stay patient in these kind of market conditions. I mean, this accumulation phase where it can be a little tricky. Seeing a lot of negative delta on the board. Little divergence on ES. With this price action, I'm still not interested in taking any breakouts. I want to get in on that dip or the pullback. So we're really very choppy. I'm gonna wait before I place any orders. I'm looking at that 958 area if it makes it back there. Between 950 and 958. We already met some sellers up there, so I don't want to be too aggressive there. Well, we do have structure, and then volume kind of drops off at that range. Session high is pretty much the power range high. Alright, so we're seeing some buying with some negative delta. Still just watching and letting them do their thing. Getting some response at that 958 range. Like buyers are winning out. Positive delta coming on the board. Positive delta is strong on with ES. Under normal conditions, so with this candle right here, that is a strong bullish candle. So I wouldn't be, got kind of a conflict right now between my strategy and what I'm actually seeing, the structure, what I'm actually seeing on the charts. So I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna wait for setup to present itself. Usually when I go against my strategy, even though like the charts are saying something different than what I would like for, within what my strategy is trying to tell me. If I go against, how I laid the strategy out, then usually that works against me. So I'm just gonna be patient and let everything, come into alignment with each other. I don't know. I think I want more of this. Definitely looks like we can continue trading higher. If it doesn't, that'll be a setup for a nice short. On second, in hindsight, technically I could, but since we were trading below the power range, still price action and structure is in favor of the short. But we did find we did have a nice pivot off the -1. All that being said, paper went into the strange things. What was I saying? Made me lose my train of thought. I'm gonna run that back if y'all don't mind. But through the mixer. completely, well, not we're retraced 50% of that strong bullish counter that I was looking at from the open. That's telling me the market is not really ready to trend in any particular direction yet. Wouldn't be surprised to see some sell-off here, but it doesn't have to happen, of course. If I was another level that I'll be looking at is the PR low, right here where we have some volume drop off and we have structure, some pivot. You have some reaction to support down there at pretty much 918. Just gonna call it 919 to 917. So that's the next level I'll be looking at, with the exception of the new high territory. This new session high territory. Gonna say I forgot about Sierra chart, but I haven't had anything over there either. Well, I guess I could have took an ES trade here. Took that short. That's technically not my level. This will be the level. I find it highly unlikely. Well, it could. I'm not gonna do too much speculation. All right, so nice little strong sell-off there. Of course, hindsight capital says I could have taken the 958 range short. The reason I didn't take that is because I felt like we tested that level kind of in my no trade window, so I didn't want to. I didn't want to feed the FOMO there. That was basically the train of thought. Alright, so we traded back down to that range that I mentioned earlier. Let's see if we continue to find support there. I still don't want to break out. Looks like we have some buyers sitting right there. We do have enough reason to believe that price could trade lower. However, nothing is guaranteed at all in this market. It's a good market to be, in and out of trades quickly. You get your flashes, but don't have a lot of follow through. See what we do at is 200 and the -1 level. So far the trade for me to take would have been up here. I would have had to, be in the red for a while before it worked out for me. And looking at the price, historical price action, just from the way that I'm reading it, from what's already printed here, more than likely that would have ended up in a scalp. depending on where I got in. May have hit one target and then the first target and then taken out on the break even. The way that, it's really choppy, so I haven't missed much of anything. Still got a lot of still have a whole heap of negative delta on the board. Kind of the opposite with ES. This could very well be another no trade day for me. This is a market that I'm not crazy about, or the kind of price action that I'm not crazy about trading in. I'm gonna get this kind of price action. I tend to be super picky. These are not my ideal market conditions, even though there's a lot of opportunities. So, don't take what I say to be, scripture. It's just, I'm just, saying what I see from my perspective in relation to my strategy. It doesn't mean that if I say there's no trade here, or if I see a trade there, it doesn't mean that there's a, that same thing has to fit for what you're doing. Your strategy can be completely different than mine. You can have a lot of opportunities in this market. So that's not just for me, it's for anyone, because you get a lot of people on YouTube and podcasts and all over the place talking about most of the sentiment in the last couple of weeks, the last month has been pretty much negative in terms of the price action. But it's not just, while it's not as easy as it was for most of 2020, there's definitely still opportunities there to make money, to profit from this price action, depending on what your strategy looks like and your experience and your perspective on what's actually happening. So I say all that to say, trust yourself, trust your strategy, do the work, and you'll be fine. And in this phase of the market, you get, you hear all the stuff about how the market is rigged and all of that stuff. But if you know it's rigged, obviously you're basing it off of something. So if you see what's going on that's telling you it's rigged, and you see all the stuff, you see, more than likely you see a pattern. And this is how the human perspective operates. You'll see a pattern, so maybe it may not be a bad idea to make an adjustment. That's either make an adjustment and to how you trade, or you make an adjustment to you just maybe you take your foot off the pedal a little bit and you wait for things to come down and give you what you want to see. There's no rule that you have to trade every single day. You don't have to trade every single day, and taking breaks is not a bad thing. Just trade your setups, trade your strategy, stick to it, and be consistent in that. Be consistent in your truth. From my perspective, that's how you find long-term success in this business. Really in any business, but we're talking about trading today, so it's kind of rambling while I'm waiting for my setup. Still just trading around, bouncing around in this noise. I don't see anything super exciting for me to jump on. Kind of late with this one. Actually, this is not a trade I would take, so I'm not even gonna do it in testimony. when I'm testing, I have to find a kind of balance between, 'cause I want to get as much data as I can get, but I have to find a balance between just getting data and then the way that I would trade with actual, real money. Got an idea for the title, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. The balance is definitely not easy. Chopping our way lower. That first track was that another new one. I think it was one of the older ones. I just haven't played it in a while. All the new sounds are classics. Great sounds. Appreciate that. In my dream world, my life consists of just, three things. And that's trading, music making, and, spending time with family, of course. I think that's the ultimate goal. That's what my days consist of, for the most part. Some nice sell-off coming in right now. Of course, music is my first love. Those are my first memories. Then after that, it was pretty much there was basketball, and then IT crept in there somewhere, and then I was introduced to trading, and been hooked ever since. I'm seeing a lot of opportunity. Well, in terms of the price action, prices traded in a way that could have given, anyone a good result on their P&L. However, I don't see anything that really I could have taken other than what I mentioned earlier. Looking at the structure and in relation to volume and the power range levels. depending on how this closes, I may have an aggressive trade. You know, still, it's a lot of noise on the chart. But I think we can play the strength of that last bar that came in there.
Order submitted.
Get super aggressive with it here. Got support from the delta. So in hindsight, that last bar was breakout worthy, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had some pullback. We still have some support to fight through, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, got a lot of support actually. At 857, 852, 832, 810, which looks like the session low.
Order submitted.
It's definitely looking like it's gonna take off without me. It's perfectly fine. That is a beautiful beautiful bearish candle on the 30-minute. Puts our resistance at 850. And all of that, unless I took a breakout, I still didn't have any opportunities to get in, or I didn't have a setup that I could have executed. I got about 10 minutes for my trade window. Definitely can't overstay my welcome today. I got some things that I got to do. So timing is everything for me this morning. Nice reaction to the -2 level. I'm getting a little better response in terms of my levels and stuff with ES. And Q doesn't care anything about my strategy this morning. Good morning, Mrs. Williams. I do have one order on the screen, but I'm gonna have to, I'm gonna have to cancel this order. just looking at the price action. It's like we're in the short-term accumulation phase. That was not smooth at all. Let me save it. Taking another dip lower. That confirms I can go ahead and remove this order.
Order canceled.
So I do like the follow through that we are seeing now. Although with this, I do expect it to catch some support at some time and give us some retracement from the sell-off that we saw around 10 from this 957 candle. What I would like for it to do is trade back up to, price is responding well to our TPO levels. It's really my balance area. These are balance area levels, which is these white lines and the orange line. But I would like for it to give us some retracement back here to where I have this order in Sierra chart at 888. We do have some support that's trying to hold down here at 817. Close enough to call it 818, but we're continuing to test that. Making another attempt to push through it. A lot of the delta is providing support for a continued move lower. If I was still trading it, I would prefer this pullback. Alright, so we got more buyers to come in. It's officially my no trade window, so no matter what, I can't take a trade. I just want to watch this to see what happens from here, see how far we pull back. Turn myself up on this one. So we got the low of our value area at 874 or 875. Somewhere in that range. See, we had some volume drop off right here at 869 to the tick, where we found some sellers. Looks like we are opening up a new accumulation range. So with all that being said, I'm just gonna let them do what they do. I'm gonna close up the shop for the day. I appreciate everybody for coming through, hanging out with me, trading with me. And then I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Trade it easy.